Hey guys, this is Hardit Bhatia, the Power Addict. Welcome to my world of power app addictions. This is my first video and I'm a little bit under the weather, so excuse me for my voice, but I really had something interesting that I wanted to share with you all. Google did an extensive research and came out with its new material design for labels, and Joel Lindstrom reached out to me and asked if it was possible to replicate that using Power Apps. My first reaction was, there's no way I can do it. Then I thought maybe I could replicate a few design elements, if not all. And then within a couple of hours, I was ready with it. I posted that on Twitter. Some of you guys really liked it, and some of you wanted to know how I did it. So here I am presenting to you how to replicate Google's material design for labels using Power Apps. Let's start off with adding a text input, bring it down and modify some of its properties. We don't need any default value. Let's set a hint text. Change the font size rather, to 20, height to 90, modify the padding slightly, fill color with 50% transparency, we don't need any borders, change the radius, top left to 10, top right to 10, and the other two bottom ones to 0. Let's make sure all the other colors and borders have the same property. So let's pick the fill color, copy that. Focus border thickness should also be 0. Hover fill should be the same as the fill color. Pressed color and pressed fill should be fine. One more change here is on the onSelect property, let's set a variable to true. We will know later why we added this. Let's move on to the next control, which will be a rectangle. So let's go to icons and select a rectangle. Stick it down to the bottom of the text input that was added previously. Make sure both of them have the same width. Change the heights to 5. Change focus border thickness to 0. And let's modify the fill property slightly. We will change it. So what we are trying to do here is whenever the variable is set to false, we will set the fill color to gray, and whenever it's true, change the fill color to blue. So let's test that out. Yep, works fine. Let's move on to the next control, which will be another text input. So let's add one. Let's move it down to start exactly where the previous one starts. The default text for this one will depend on the hint text of the previous one. Let's change the font size to 15. Font weight to semi-bold or bold, either one is fine. Height to 32. Modify the padding slightly. Change the font color to blue. Fill color as well. No borders needed for this one either. Let's modify the radius now. So top left 10, top right 10, bottom left 0, bottom right 0. We will modify the disabled color and disabled fill for this particular text input because we will set its display mode to disabled. So let's pick the color and set its disabled color to the same value. Let's pick its fill color and set its disabled fill to the same value. And now let's change its display mode to disable. Change the focus border thickness to 0. We will make the visibility of this text input dependent on the variable that we have created. So let's do that. Okay. And we need a way to change the value of this variable to false to hide the second text input when it's not needed. So we will add another label to the screen. Let's cover the entire screen with it. We don't need any text for this particular label. All we need from this label is its onSelect property. So let's use that to set the variable to false and send this label to back. Let's test it out now. Let's compare it side by side. On the left, we have Google's example, and on the right, we have my Power App. When the user clicks inside the text input, the label still stays within the boundaries and the border changes to a bright color. When the user clicks out of it, it goes back to its original state, exactly like how it's shown on the video here. So a few more changes can be done. For example, the pressed color of the text input and the hover color of the text input can be modified slightly so as to exactly mimic Google's example. But hopefully this gives you an idea as to how to implement Google's material design for labels. One more point, all these controls that I have on my Power App can be grouped together and exported as a component so that you can then import that component into your other Power Apps and use this text input control rather than the standard text input control. So hopefully this video was useful. Hopefully you will use this text input control rather than the standard one moving forward. So thank you so much for watching. Watch out for more videos and have fun. Thank you.